What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome back to Roma Theory. I will consider you a hero if you're watching this video 4th of August at 10 p.m. Italian time, reacting to a friendly game against the 4th division English side, Newport County, with all due respect. But I was in Rome today and I had nothing to do, so I watched the game. And I got my notes, and match reactions are back. First match reaction of the 2026-2027 season. You know what I think about friendly games. I'm not massively interested in them. I don't care about the result, whether you win or whether you lose. Today we won 4-1. On Saturday we lost 4-1 against Cardiff City in a game that I didn't watch, a game that I've read comments about, and everybody was saying that we genuinely didn't turn up, and that you can definitely tell that there is an element of delay in terms of the fitness level of the team. But this is something, as we've seen last year, that happens a lot with teams managed by Gasperini. We know that the Gasperinian summer preseason is not an easy one in terms of fitness level, in terms of stamina and fatigue. And players coming back from the World Cup, some of them are still not back. I look at Kone, who is about to return from his holidays. But in general, players coming back from their holidays, back going in such an intense way, you do feel the consequences in these games. You do feel the weight of these training sessions on your legs. And so it hasn't been a spectacular preseason, as I said before. But again, I'm not massively interested in friendly games. I think friendly games are only useful to test yourself, to test your tactical evolutions, to see how you can kind of withstand your fitness levels coming back from the summer holidays. So I'm not here to speak about the result. I'm here to speak about some interesting things that I've seen, some tactical things that I've seen, and then of course speak about the general situation also regarding the transfer window, which has seen us bought a defender who played well today, scored a goal, Kukeliakis, I believe his name is, but a transfer session which is still a bit delayed and still needs to get going. Because in exactly 20 days, our season starts. In exactly 20 days, I will be leaving for Canada. 20 days will fly by. 20 days is a lot of time, but 20 days is not a lot of time that makes you relax and go, I will do things and I will get going in a bit. 20 days are going to fly by. We've got 2 more friendly games, one against Brighton, and then one against Dortmund in Germany, which I think are going to be the most interesting ones for those who are going to follow them. But yeah, look, 4-1 today. Soule scored. Santi scored his first goal on a penalty kick. Kukeliakis scored his first goal with a header. And then Hermoso scored a good goal. Probably the second best goal of tonight after Mati Soule's one. A good combination which started from a Cristante high press. Then I believe it moved to Dybala, switched it back to Cristante, who kind of fakes it and Hermoso kicks it. A good link up between the players, a good goal. But the most interesting thing that I will probably start with is Hermoso's position. If you followed the game, you noticed that Hermoso played in the midfield next to Cristante. Next to Elanawi, with Cristante playing a bit more advanced. There's a message behind this. It's not Gasperini trying Hermoso in that position because he sees Hermoso potentially fitting in that position. No, that is the classic situation of a manager going, I need players. And you can tell that I need players because I'm playing my centre-back next to Elanawi. And it's a smart move. We have always said this. This manager is demanding. This manager... But can I say rightly so? Again, I'm going to speak about the transfer window in a second. But this manager is rightly so demanding. He's brought you back to the Champions League after how many years? He expects something in return to improve this team even more. So the Hermoso move is the classic move that the manager hits in a friendly game, going, look, we're playing friendly games like this. I would love to not play Hermoso in that position because he's never going to play in that position again. So it's kind of using that position in a stupid way. Kone is still out because he played the semi-finals at the World Cup, so he's having an extension of holidays. Pisilli is not fit, so you only have what? Elenawi and Cristante. Cristante played in a more advanced position. He had to invent putting Hermoso next to Elenawi, which I actually think he played a very good game. He was absolutely everywhere today, scored a goal, invading the space in the box. So I think Hermoso played a good game, but it's not like you were going to see Hermoso there ever again. So it's the classic move coming from the manager going, I need players. Which is interesting because... of course, the midfield. Look, I think we need another midfielder. I do, because I think Kone, Elanawi, Cristante, and Pisilli is not enough. And I also feel like if you have these four players, we're always going to see Cristante start. Because out of these four players, I think Pisilli, of course, has his margins of growth. But out of these four players, the manager will forever and always pick Kone and Cristante when they're fit. Now, again, people will say that Cristante would get picked even with fucking prime Pogba on the pitch. And I agree. There is something about Cristante that everyone loves. But I feel like the next step is... and we've said it, he extended his contract, but Cristante can no longer start games. I definitely would like to see Cristante be a sub, but in order for that to happen, you need a good investment in the middle. And at time of speaking, I don't think that's the priority. We need a left winger. This left winger is delayed, has been delayed last summer, is delayed now. You need to get that left winger, and then you need a right back. You need a right back because Wesley's converted officially to left back. You've sold Chilik, so on that side you only have Wrench. So you definitely need a right back. Last rumours are saying that Nahuel Molina, Atletico Madrid player, Argentinian, used to play in the Serie A with Udinese, could be the new signing. I'm not going to speak about new players now. I've always said that I'm going to react to new signings once the Here We Go comes. But yeah, look, we definitely need, I think, more investments up front in that left-hand side of the pitch. There's a gap. There is an evident gap when you look at that zone of the pitch. Last season, you could have kind of combed that gap because you had El Shaarawy, you had Pellegrini. Now, again, you probably will have Pellegrini this season, but Pellegrini still hasn't signed that contract, so he technically is not a Roma player anymore. So at time of speaking, you genuinely don't have anyone in that position. And I genuinely mean you don't have anyone. As much as last season we lacked that big left winger, you could have used that space with El Shaarawy. You could have used that space with Pellegrini. None of them are here the 4th of August. So there is an evident gap in that area of the pitch. Again, you've tried Soule. Soule's not good on that side. People, I'm going to say that again. Soule and Dybala don't link up well together. They don't. They're the same exact player. Whoever you put on the opposite side of the pitch doesn't perform. So Soule Soule and Dybala are alternatives. They are not there to play together. That's the way I've always seen it. So you desperately need that left winger. Hermoso played a good game, as I said before. Castro played a good game. Again, Castro to me is not a surprise. Koukiliakis, by the way, I'm definitely mispronouncing his name. I apologize. But the Greek guy, I don't know about. So seeing him play today, again, you can't... Context. We played against the 4th division English side. Welsh side. So, again... Everyone could look phenomenal against these teams. Everyone can look phenomenal in friendly games. But his approach was good. Very, determined in defense. Scored a good goal in the air with a header. So these are the players that I'm like, I want to see more of. I want to see more of in these friendly games. because I don't know much about them. Castro I know about, and I know for certain that I like the player and how the player plays and how the player and what the player in terms of characteristics gives to this team and how he can link up well. Malan had a fever today, so Castro played the majority of the game, played a good game, had a lot of chances, scored a penalty, which I don't think was a penalty, but yeah. Again, I think overall comment, I would say, again, I haven't watched every friendly game. I haven't watched the friendly game against Cannes a few weeks ago. Well, I did. I kind of watched the last 15 minutes. I didn't watch last weekend's, this past weekend's friendly game against Cardiff where we lost 4-1. So I don't have an incredibly detailed knowledge of how we've played in every friendly game. I watched this one 90 minutes, but again, context is needed. What I would say is that just like every summer, because it's the truth, we every summer use this word to describe the team and the club in general, and this word is delayed. I think there is a delay in the transfer session. And I think there's a bit of a delay in terms of fitness level, which is not worrying because, as I said at the beginning, these training sessions and the entire preseason under this manager requires a lot of energy and a lot of it builds a lot of fatigue. So my fitness level doubts are not a worry at the moment. But the season does start in 20 days. And, you did get slapped by a team that plays in the championship. And there were a lot of moments today where, again, you conceded a goal. You probably could have played a bit better in some moments today against a team that does play in the 4th division of English football. So, but again, this is normal. I don't want to alarm people because this is very normal and everybody should be aware of this. These players feel the return on the pitch in their legs at the moment. It will take time to water things down. Remember last season, we've always defined last season and Gasperini's season as a whole with a graph. It takes a bit to get going and then you reach your peak after a few months because the preseason requires a lot. So about the way we're playing right now and what I've seen in these friendly games, again, they're friendly games, so don't worry. It's even nice to see us back going. I would be a bit more worried on the transfer session side rather than on what happens at the pitch at the moment because we are delayed in the transfer session. Whether you like this or not, we are. 20 days until the season starts, we've only signed 2 players. I truly believe that I'd rather sign smart players and good players instead of signing players for the sake of signing them. And the manager perfectly acknowledges this. He filmed an interview last season defining this. That, one thing is buying players to reinforce the team, and another thing is buying players just to improve the squad depth, but just by adding for the sake of adding. So I absolutely do think that we shouldn't buy players for the sake of signing players, but at the same time, you need to hurry up because 20 days the season starts, and all the players that you sign now won't have that much time to adapt and get going once the season starts. So priorities and in terms of deals, that left winger needs to get done. Now, again, I listened to Filippo Biafora speak a few days ago, and he says that some big opportunities can come at the end of the transfer window. Towards the end, big opportunities open up. Because, for instance, I'll give you an example, which this is not a rumor, but this is an example that he gave. A potential Marcus Rashford at the moment, the 4th of August, would be impossible. But moving towards the end of the transfer session, that opportunity can open up because the player understands that nobody's signing him. he doesn't want to stay at Man United. Man United don't want to keep him. So we can go, okay, I'm going to hire my salary this season to kind of open my way up. And that's where you can attack and get him. This is what happened with Lukaku a few years ago. You know, we signed Lukaku because it was an opportunity, because nobody was signing him. He didn't want to stay at Chelsea. Chelsea didn't want to keep him. So he's like, right, I'm going to accept Roma because nobody's going to sign me. So opportunities of players that clubs don't want to keep, but but at the same time that what was I going to say? The players kind of want to, I don't know how to say this, but you know, a player that a club doesn't want to keep and a player that does not want to rot on a bench for an entire season will probably understand. Is my audio gone? Hang on. Is that good? I mean, it says it's it says I'm not muted. I can see the volume thing go up. Let me know if it's fine, because it looks fine to me. But what I was saying is that opportunities will arise. The thing is that we need to get that left winger now, because that left winger will need time to adapt. Okay, so it's working fine. It's good, all good. Listening fine. I mean, it looked fine to me. I can see the volume thing go up. I'm definitely not muted because I can see the thing go up. Anyways, it looks like I'm fine. So yeah, I expect something happening in these next few days. Whether that's a right back, whether that's a left winger, whether that's a midfielder, something needs to happen, because we need to start hurrying up. I'm not saying we need to get all signings done this week, because that won't happen, and that does not need to happen. But you need to get your priorities straight. We've been needing a left winger for the past 20 months. We still don't have it. And that, to me, is the most worrying thing. Every year you're delayed. Every year you delay signings. So yeah. Anyways, let me read a few comments and then I'm going to end it, guys. There's not really much to say. I like how we played the corners. Did you see the clash between Cristante, Dybala and Sule? Yeah, but that again, the amount of... If you've played football, you will know that is the media using an incident between three players, a football incident between three players, and creating an entire useless drama around it. It happens when you play football with your friends. The guy doesn't pass the ball to you, you yell at him. That's exactly the same. Those things start on a football pitch and die on a football pitch. But due to the fact that we're not signing anybody, the media doesn't know what to write about. So what they're doing to get the likes and the clicks is creating an entire article about how Dybala and Cristante punched each other so that the people will read it. You know, football is a team sport. Otherwise, these players would have played tennis. A friend of mine wants to know, what's your favorite club from London? I don't really care. Probably Chelsea, but I don't care. I like the Wesley playing on the right. Who is your realistic dream left winger for... At the moment, I'd probably say Nusa. Yeah. Well, no. Look, my realistic left winger signing... I would say Rashford. It's not realistic at the moment, but I can see it become realistic in a few weeks. So in that sense, I would probably say Rashford. I've attacked Leao a lot, and if he ever comes, I I would still attack him because I don't like the character. I don't like his personality. I don't like his ego. But a player like Leao, I would like to you if I said that he wouldn't be useful to us. So these are all names that at the moment are unrealistic, won't happen. But, you know, if Milan don't want to keep Leao, if Leao doesn't accept any offer, the 20th of August, the opportunity opens up. But at the moment, I'd probably say Nusa because who else is there apart from him? I mean, all of them have gone. I was in the stadium for the Cardiff Roma game and it was awful. Wrench needs to go, not good enough, says Rasta. Okay, this is a really big dream, but maybe we could loan Endrick. If Rashford came, we'd do such a good job. One left winger is not enough. Well, one is better than zero, mate. And due to the fact that we've been waiting on a left winger for the past 20 months, I would be very happy if we can get at least one done. Then I agree. You need two. Of course you do. But you probably won't get two done. Especially if you don't sell Sule, because he will get converted in a left winger if he does. Especially if you get, you know the thing at the moment is that it's very hard to understand what tactical purpose you want to move for because you don't know who you're going to sign, and at the moment you've got a lot of gaps in the pitch. So for me at the moment it's very hard to say how we're going to play, what players we will need. Of course, two left wingers is better than one. Absolutely. But one is also better than zero. And due to the fact that we haven't signed a left winger for the past infinity, I'd be very happy if we can get at least one done. That's the way I see it. Then of course two can be better than one. But then it depends who you sign. See, a lot of things. It's hard to say this now. I think judgments, balances, and opinions will need to be kept until the end of the transfer market. Then we will give judgments. But yeah. Right. I am going to end it. Two more friendly games and then the season starts. We need something, and something will probably happen in these next few days. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you watched the game. Let me know your thoughts about the transfer session in general. Hit the like. If we can get 100 likes, it would be great. And I will catch you very, very soon. Good night. Simo out.